Secret things you didn't know about Jacob Zuma. Well, today's video, I want to show you guys things that they don't want you to know about Jacob Zuma. Okay. The other time I met with a radio producer. For the purpose of this, I will seek to hide the identity of the producer. This person said to me, we were told there was a meeting and everybody that works in that station was called. Every single producer. We were called into a meeting and we were told never to say any positive things to Jacob Zuma. That was the message that we were to pass on to other people. This person said to me, Bongan, go and dig deeper and look at the things that Jacob Zuma has done for South Africa. There is something that you are going to see. And guys, did I not go and do some research? And I found the reasons why they hate Jacob Zuma. Guys, if you remember vividly, under the Ramaphosa administration, Zuma's administration period is often termed as the 9 wasted years. That means he was useless in a period of 9 years. But in today's video, I'm about to shock you. I'm about to show you something that you were never ready to know, right? What if I tell you that between all the presidents that you've ever had in this country, there is no president that has ever done things that were done by Jacob Zuma, one man? Well, I know. You are saying, Bongs, are you daydreaming? To prove that I'm not daydreaming, you need to watch this video until the end. I am talking about research-proven facts, and I'm going to show you where I got all of this information. It is just in your public eyes. You know what? There's something also that I want you guys to show you, and that is, let me show you. Just check next to subscribe button. Just there. There's a button called subscribe. Guys, that button, just click that button now. Subscribe now. Like the video now. Comment in the comment section below now. Also share this video now. And then you'll come back and watch it later on. But share this video at least to 10 people and tell them to subscribe, because we want to take this channel to 10,000 subscribers, and it is possible. We want to make sure that this video get at least up to 100,000 views. Right? The power is in your hands. Remember, I promised you, look, research. There was an article that was released on 18 February 2015. The heading of that article was written, "Thank you, President Jacob Zuma." The person who wrote that article was Themba Hadebe. The newsroom was released under News 24. Let me break it down. The article goes on to say, contrary to popular belief, President Jacob Zuma has done impeccable and outstanding job in ensuring that South Africa moves forward and create a better life for all. Many critics of Jacob Zuma unfortunately becomes emotional that they fail to see his achievement and those of the country. Now, at this moment, you are not aware where we're going, but I urge you, listen. Pay attention to each and every detail. The reason I want to read this is because just this alone, it tells you something. But we are about to get to the meat. We're just preparing. When President Zuma first took the office, he was already hated by many South Africans, and the media made sure that, but the ever so humble president took all with a smile and handshake. What a gentleman. Now, the third paragraph says, the problem in South Africa is that if those with privileged view don't approve you, you suddenly a threat to a democracy. A democracy they did not believe at some stage, but now they are self-appointed custodians of the Constitution. Let's get now into what Jacob Zuma did for South Africa. This is where you find the reason why the likes of President Ramaphosa saying that was just 9 wasted years. I am going to break it down for you. And when I'm done, I want you to tell me if indeed these were 9 wasted years, or actually these are the most useful years. You are going to tell me after, once I'm done with this article, you are going to tell me whether it is wasteful years or useful years. Let me start. This is where we start. Now the man says, the Zuma administration has prioritized creating decent jobs, better education and health, fighting crime, violence against women and children, and rural development. This will be his legacy. Now, number one, under the leadership of Jacob Zuma, Mr. Infrastructure. Please notice the word that he is referred to as Mr. Infrastructure. This is not to mock him. They are about to make a very important point here. Under the leadership of President Jacob Zuma, Mr. Infrastructure, South Africa is improving a way of life 1 kilometer at a time. You're probably wondering why I refer to our number one as infrastructure. Mr. Zuma is a genius. At the heart of his infrastructure strategy, he shifted from just seeing infrastructure only as an asset to viewing the purpose of infrastructure as providing services to improve quality of life and social inclusion. This shift is a perspective place emphasis on the outcome of infrastructure project being quality service, as well as driving the need to determine if the proposed infrastructure is the best option delivering those services. In other words, under Zuma administration, he made sure that we have all the infrastructure is properly taken care of, so that if we move with our cars. Now, it reminds me the story of potholes. Now, do you know that at some point there was a research that was done to calculate the number of potholes that we have, and it was calculated that we had about over 1 million potholes in this country. Very unfortunately, these potholes came after Zuma. Speaking about infrastructure, but infrastructure is not just the road, the building. You know what I'm saying? Infrastructure, that word, it's just broad, but I'm just focusing on one aspect, and that is the building. There are a lot of things that we're going to talk about as far as infrastructure, the word infrastructure is concerned when you talk about Jacob Zuma. But let me go to now the second thing that Jacob Zuma did. Under President Jacob Zuma, we have seen Transnet increase its capital expenditure program from 110 billion, right, to 300 billion. Now, let me repeat this one. This is very important. Under President Jacob Zuma, we have seen Transnet increase, not decrease, increase capital expenditure program from 110 billion to 300 billion. Under the current administration, we have seen Transnet going to a point of being sold out. Now, please answer the question. Who has wasteful years between Zuma and the current administration? And please don't be emotional. I don't want you to be emotional, but I want you to be factual. We are looking at who has performed the best between the current one, the current one, and Zuma himself. There's something that I want to show you. Okay, so here under Jacob Zuma, we have seen Transnet increase its capital expenditure program from 110 billion to 300 billion to 210 billion to ensure adequate capacity to meet to meet future demand. Sorry. Now we're moving to the third point. The third point is, I've seen a lot of trends around the third point. That paragraph, it says, Eskom has embarked on a massive build program, to boost electricity generation. The project includes the construction of the Medupi, Lipalale, and the Ingula power station, which have also created jobs and stimulated development in the surrounding communities. But I'm still counting things here. So under Jacob Zuma, we have seen these stations being built, but under the current administration, we are seeing number of Eskom stations that are not working. Go and check it out for yourself, right? And I want you, because we are going to vote, I want you to tell me if we are going forward, maintaining, or going backward under the current administration. But here's the funny part. Jacob Zuma has outperformed Mandela, Mbeki, and the current administration, because the things that Zuma did, even if you were to give them the next term, they would never do it. They've demonstrated that they've never done it. Now let's go into the fourth one. The fourth one, on education, President Zuma vowed to improve the quality of education in South Africa. It is our strongest view that poverty must prevent South Africans' children from gaining an education, said Jacob Zuma. Since President Jacob Zuma took the office, more than 370 new schools were built. Now, please notice this. More than 370 schools were built. More than 8 million children have been given free education, and further 9 million children receive free meals at schools. This direction shows how committed President Jacob Zuma is. President Jacob Zuma also indicated plans to ensure that education is free to all youth by 2020. Okay? It's going to be interesting. Wait a minute. I'm going to ask a contrary question. Under Zuma, we had 370 schools that were built. Under the current administration, how many schools are built? Remember, the current administration tells us that Zuma's time at the office was a wasteful time. We heard it from them, right? They are saying they always refer to the period of Zuma being in the office as wasteful 9 years. So you can't say somebody is wasteful if you are not going to at least build 370 new schools. That at least that's a minimum. I am saying, if you are saying it's wasteful, so you probably will build twice the number. Then you are saying, nah, man, you were just playing. We will do twice what you have done. That is when I can accept that you are saying to me, this one was wasteful. So I want you guys to research, do your own research. Look at the schools that were built under Mandela. Look at the schools that were built under the period President Thabo Mbeki, Zuma, and the current administration. I want you guys to do the comparison. This particular video, I wanted to show you the reason why the current one, they hate Zuma, right? Now, let's go into the fifth one. Through the successful HIV prevention of mother-to-child transmission program, which was initiated and launched by Zuma, the results were brought forward at that the number of babies born with HIV positive was reduced by 66% by 2011. Today, South Africa has the largest ARV programs in the world. Leaders around the world have lauded this achievement. It is therefore safe to say that the Zuma administration had... Now, this is where... I don't know how best can I demonstrate this, but this is where the following last statements, they are going to take the cup. They are going to sum it up for you. You are going to decide on the basis of this one. Listen to this one. And after in News 24, they have done their research. They came to this conclusion. having named all the other things that I've done, that they've named for you, they came to this conclusion. They said, it is therefore safe to say that Zuma administration has outperformed every previous administration. You don't like that, but it's a fact. Now let me repeat this one. They said, it is therefore safe to say that Jacob Zuma administration has outperformed every previous administration. You don't like that? It's a fact. Now, in other words, they are saying the Zuma administration has outperformed the period of Mandela, has outperformed the period of Thabo Mbeki, and then Kgalema Motlanthe among them. I am saying the bar is here. No, when the current administration says to us there is a new dawn. Look, Zuma's period in the office was 9 wasted years. We are expecting them to at least outperform the former president, Jacob Zuma. Now, what I'm saying is we are expecting them to see the rise of each and every single thing. Job creation, ESCOM solution, HIV and AIDS, violence against children and women. Look, you know what I'm saying? We are, all the things that Zuma mastered, the job creation, this and this, we are expecting them to outperform Jacob Zuma. If they can't outperform him, then they have no right to. We shouldn't hear the word from their mouth that says, those are 9 wasteful years. What have you done to at least equate to what the man has done? By the way, I'm going to shock you with another revelation. Let me give you the stats. The stat says under President Jacob Zuma, South Africans' debt to the GDP ratio is 32%, USA 100%, Japan 200%, UK 90%. The world recommend a ratio of 60%. SA rank number 1 among upper middle class income in the world under Jacob Zuma administration. So under Jacob Zuma administration, in terms of the borrowing behavior, the debts that we had from other countries, it was around 23. It was around 32%. I am asking you this question. Where are we? I've heard we have borrowed this much, we've borrowed this much. Under the current administration, I've never seen a country that is borrowing like us. We've been borrowing. How much do we owe? How much do we owe this bank called the World Bank? The World Bank. How much do we owe the IMF? How much do we owe them? I want to know that. Under the current administration. But we are told that during the period of Zuma, South Africa was ranked number 1. We were less borrowing. But we were also stable in this country. So it's funny that there was less borrowing, but we were also stable in this country. Guys, there's something that you are missing here. Hey, videos like this don't last longer because that's what they don't want to hear. They will make sure that they will find a way of destroying such videos. But let me also shock you with the following. South African stock market rose 23% in 2012. South Africa is currently ranked number 2 out of 183 countries for good practice in protecting both borrowers and lenders when obtaining credit for business. Under the wasteful 9 years, we were told that we were ranked number 2. Did you hear that? We were ranked number 2 in the out of 183 countries. South Africa was ranked number 2 in terms of borrowers and lenders. So, guys, I want you guys to tell me this. I'm gonna do more of this research. I am going to dig deeper and look at the schools that were built by the current administration, because their 5-year term has expired. We want to know if at least under their administration, have they built at least 100 schools? Maybe 100 is too much. Have they built at least 50%? Maybe that's reasonable. I mean, sorry, not 50, not 50%. 50. I just want to make a research. Now, somebody says, look, when the person concluded, says, we can go all day, but let's stick to this few. Remember that these good things are just said to be few things. He says South Africa's admission to BRICS have been a huge milestone. Many emerging market countries were keen for BRICS membership, but we were overlooked. And SA got the nod because of the leadership we have. Let them talk and do. Let them talk and do your job, Mr. Zuma. Lead South Africa. Today we look back with pride at the tremendous progress that have been made, but appreciate the challenges of inequalities, poverty, and unemployment. They remind me of Shakespeare. Zuma said before going on to quote Macbeth Selenod with the end. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Let me repeat these words. Somebody, Zuma, is it Zuma or what? Who says? It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I am going to repeat this because it's very important. This person says, it is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Now, here's another shocker. Here's another shocker. Jacob Zuma, quite interesting. Here's another shocker. Jacob Zuma, go and check. It's out there. I'm just feeding you. He's the #2 best performing president in the world. Go and figure it out. After the measurement of the things that Zuma has done, measured against presidents all over the world, he came #2. We've been told it's 9 wasteful years. That's what we've been told. I want to ask you the question, where is Transnet? What is happening at Transnet? Where is Eskom? What is happening at Eskom? Why do we have a lot of coal that is leaving the country via Richards Bay? I want to ask a question. How many jobs? Hey, by the way, guys, I know some will hate me for this one, but let me tell you this. Go and research. It's there on it's on the media. Before Ramaphosa was voted into power, he said, a week before, he said, I am going to create over, millions or what of jobs. And then a week after he was appointed as the president, he said, we will lose 1 million jobs. A direct contradictory from his statement. Well, you think that is not enough. President Ramaphosa, videos are there. He went and promised people that he was going to build 100,000 houses in Alexandra. Did not live to that promise. When Fikile Mbalula was there to defend that narrative, he says, no, he said 10,000, but we have him on record. It is out there. Then I forgot that this journalist is JJ Tobane or what. I think it's around there. He asked this guy, Fikile Mbalula. He says, okay, you are saying you guys promised 10,000 houses. How many houses have you built so far? Then he responded by saying, we are building. He says, okay, we hear you are building. How many houses have you built up to so far? As of me and you interacting, how many houses have they been built by this current administration? He couldn't answer that clear question. I want you guys to look at things and ask yourself, I've just read few things. Some of the things that Jacob Zuma did, He won an award for being the best president to have ever united people during struggle. It has been said, it is out there. I will link these articles. I'm not going to read all of them because obviously it's going to take me time. I am sitting here and looking at the things, few, and I've only counted few things, and I know a lot of people will say, but you are campaigning for Zuma. No, I am revealing facts as to why they don't want this man. Look, they don't want Zuma. You will remember that there was this journalist that used to write all the negative things about Jacob Zuma, right? He even apologized when he was shown this research, when he was shown that the man you are going around calling him useless, he's actually, the things that he has done, no other president has ever done it. When it was compared to other people around the world, it was real. He then realized that, you know what, this is the man that you can never mess with. Now, I know a lot of people will say, hey, there was a corruption at Transnet. You know, let me tell you this about Zuma. And this is what I've noticed. Here is where you are going to hear me admitting that Zuma was corrupt. But there is a distinguishing factor or characteristics that Zuma has with the current corrupt government. Mind you that I've said to both of them, they are corrupt. But there is something that distinguishes them. I'm going to show you something. Before I can make this point clear, I will need to show you history. And we're going to start this by looking at how white people look. Because another group of people that were very corrupt, it's white people. Let me show you how they used to steal in a manner that a lot of people did not pick it up. That's why a lot of people believe that white people are good people, because white people, the way that they use, the method and the ways in which they used to steal was so sophisticated that it looks genuine. How? Let me show you how. White people, when they were stealing, they will build companies such as SAA. They will build companies such as FNP. It was built by them, by the way. Sasol. They will build Sasol. Those were companies that were built by the apartheid government. What the apartheid mastered, what white people mastered, they did not steal from the production. In other words, they did not steal from the seeds. But what white people did, they stole from the proceeds. This is how they stole. So in other words, they stole from the fruits produced by this production. Let me show you how they used to do it. They built companies such as Eskom, and they were like, no, we are not going to eat the means of production, but we are going to eat from the profit. This is how we're going to do it. They build these companies, and then they have what we call it evergreen contract. You see these white companies working, producing or giving something to Eskom, but they don't have to bid for that tender. It is an ongoing thing. So in other words, they have a share at Eskom because of that evergreen good thing. So they are not eating from the means of production, but they are eating from the outcome of the production, meaning from the money made out of that production. They go to SAA. Dudumien, you will remember what Dudumien was facing at SAA. He touched these people who had evergreen. She even said it. It's there. Go and get it. She says, no, I had to question people here. This person and this white company, they have an evergreen contract, but other people need to bid for tenders. Why is it that other people will bid for the small Nyana tenders, but the big tenders, nobody bids for them? They are exclusively reserved for the white companies that are working at SAA. They don't have to bid for that. They created that generational wealthy through that system of eating from the proceeds. So they were still stealing. The difference is that they are stealing almost look genuine unless you investigate that one. Now, I can go on and go on and look at Abosasola, how these white people have managed to build institutions like that and then have only themselves to eat from that and creating tenders that are benefiting them. In other words, eating from the proceeds made by this. So in other words, they don't look corrupt, they look clean. That's why Judge Mogoeng speaks about the corruption that is in the private sector. He says that's the worst corruption you have ever think of or you have ever came across. Those are the worst corrupt people you can ever think of. Did you hear me saying just exactly that? Well, I said it. Now, what Jacob Zuma did, he goes to ESCOM, he disrupts this evergreen contract. Hey, he touched these white people. He goes to SAA through Dudumian. He disrupts this evergreen contract. If you look at how the administration of Zuma will steal money, they never stole from the production. They were stealing more or less like the white man. They were stealing from the profit. In other words, they will make sure that they will make sure that ESCOM is functioning at its maximum capacity and it's making billions, but they will look at ways in which they can get a share from the profit made by ESCOM. That's what they will do. They will look at means into, oh, wait a minute, how can we get a share from money made by SAA? And so on and so on and so on. So that's how they used to steal from this, right? That's why then there was a companies that were working with the Gupta's companies, they had contract and all this stuff. But let me show you something. That's another interesting dynamics into this one. And the dynamics is this one. When I'm introducing a third element into the story, the current administration, what they did, look at where, look, do you have trains that are moving from either Tembisa to Jimistin to Pretoria? Do you have trains? Where are they? They only got revived now. It's only few of them, probably 3 or 4. Where were they? None. I looked at Metro Rail from Jimistin to Katlehong the other time. I doubt you'll ever see a train anytime soon. I looked at other Metro Rail, J around. I was busy looking at them. I doubt you will ever see a train moving in some of them. Because the people who were involved there, they ate the seed. In other words, they ate the means to production. Thus, the production was distracted. Then you must look at local roads. Have you ever had potholes like where we have now, right? There was even a debate. The other time, a metropolis stops a guy and say, your car is not roadworthy. And he says, your road is not worth my car. What you see right now, if you say my car is not roadworthy, it's actually, the cause is actually your road. So you can't give me a ticket when next to you, there's a pothole that distract my car and make it not roadworthy. Where am I supposed to get that money? We have seen people eating from the means of production, not from the not from the proceeds. That has been the problem with the current administration. Look at ESCOM today. Under the previous administration, ESCOM was functioning local properly. Today, it is as if ESCOM is failing. Where is Transnet? Transnet is now preparing to be sold. SAA sold, you know what I'm saying, to private sector. Because these people, what they eat, these capitalists, what they do, they eat the means of production instead of eating at least the proceeds. These people, they were like, we don't want a piece of share. We want the whole pie. That's why things are collapsing. Things are busy collapsing under the current administration, because they don't want to eat a piece of the pie. They want to steal the whole pie. The previous administration was, I forgot the right word. It's an opposite of a capitalist. Capitalist is the current administration, right? What they do, everything they want it for themselves and for themselves only. Jacob Zuma once warned us about a capitalist mindset. I will download that video. We'll insert it on the other time. Mthabo Mbeki once warned us about it. Look, that thing, you used to find it on Metro FM, look, on Robert Marawa show, where President Mbeki will tell us about there will be people about this thing, that there will be people that will exploit the condition of our people, and he refers to them as imigodoi. Those people, they don't care about other people, they only care about their pockets, right? That is the problem. Those are the questions that I want us to answer today. It is as if Zuma knew what was coming up when he left the seat, when he vacated the office. There was a video that he recorded, and in that video he said, when you realize, or when you get to a point where you realize that you miss me, he says you will find. He laughingly says, please, no, you are something around that. You look, I am available, something around that. It is as if he knew. I'm here to ask you a question. Well, if you compare the period of Mandela, the period of Thabo Mbeki, I'm not going to name Kgalema Motlanthe intentionally, the period of Zuma administration and the period of the current administration, look at the things that have been happening under the current administration and tell me if we are moving forward, stagnant, or backward. How many people have lost jobs in this country? Do we have the infrastructure that we used to have under the previous administration? Where are we going? Why are we going towards the direction that we are going? When we were told that this is a new dawn, is this the new dawn? If it's this, if you are happy with the new dawn, are you really seeing where we're going? Those are the questions that I want to pose. Now, if you have any facts suggesting otherwise, facts that seeks to say no, the current administration have outperformed Zuma, look at this and this and this and this in the country, I'm willing to swallow my tail, swallow my pride, and I will definitely share that. I've got a WhatsApp number that is public, right? I think I need to insert it here. That is where you are going to share with me that those stats. I want us now to go into this mood where we are doing all research. Leave these people who are so emotional. There are people who get hired to discredit what we say because those that are with them, they know exactly that this information can change the public's perception about them. That's why they don't want such videos to be kept on the platform, because they understand the importance of such videos, that it will raise the awareness that they are not willing to see. They're not willing to see people being educated about this whole concept of politics. I am hereby asking you this following question. If there was a man that has outperformed everybody, is it not better to at least bring that person closer and at least make that person a figure in a way that look, if you are to vote for a political party, they go and consult from him as to say, how do we fix things and all this stuff? It's just a question that I want to ask you to say, is it not better to have the person who knows how guiding anybody? Like I'm saying, if Zuma has outperformed everybody in this country, is it not better to at least have this man coming up with his expertise? One day he said, not to me, but he was speaking, he said, he spoke about the fact that there were some people who intentionally created load shedding. And he says that I had to find other people to make sure that we go and fix the problem at Eskom. And voila, we did not have load shedding. When Koko was still at Eskom, Brian Mulifa was still at Eskom, people whom we were told were they less educated, those people, look at them, they were all under Zuma administration. Look at where Eskom was. Go and look at where SAPC was under Cloud. The guy whom we were told he was uneducated, but look at SAPC. Did you ever hear any bailout of SABC under the administration of Cloud? Never. Never. He even bragged even today that I am the first guy that not only did I maintain ESCOM, the organization, sorry, SAPC, the organization, but I made millions. And he says I went all out of the way and I made millions for SAPC. Now he asks you, what is education? Is it the qualification or the intelligence in a man? That's the question that I want to ask you. Well, speaking about that, we were told that Zuma is uneducated. Therefore, it was as if they were insinuating that since he's uneducated, he's unable to make so proper and sound decision. And when you are listening to that, it is as if they are equating education, academical success as a sign of intelligence. And I am here to disagree with such a notion. And I am here to tell you that academical achievement is not a sign of intelligence, but rather it might help you to speak an eloquent English. It might help you to look. It might help you in terms of reading. It might help you in terms of communicating with other people, and also it might instill or at least create a certain perspective in you, but it doesn't necessarily mean good. That is a sign of intelligence, and that is where we need to, or that is what we need to understand. Now, we need to judge people based on their contribution in life, based on their behavior. I am going to ask you this. If you're looking at the man that has outperformed all the other presidents and all the stuff, I am going to ask you this question. Is it not worth to consider that the man is intelligence? Because, come on, intelligence is measured by how you think and how you act. So if you're looking at the man, the way he acts, the way he thinks, for me, it proves beyond reasonable doubt that, oh, wait a minute, we have a man here who is quite intelligent based on the decisions that he's making. At least those are some of the questions that I had, and I wanted to ask you to say, wait a minute, do you really, really, really think that this man, I want to talk about this, because it's quite interesting. It is so interesting to think that we were even made to believe that this man is corrupt to the core. There's nothing that comes out of this man, but only to learn that, wait a minute, this man has actually outperformed everybody. So if these people who hate this man happens to be what is it that they don't like about the man? Is it really because the man is bad, or the man is not eating with them, and as a result of refusing to eat with them, so they create therefore a narrative that is a bad person? We must be careful of this thing. Who define what is good and what is bad for you? If you allow media to dictate what is good and what is bad for you, you are going to destroy good people, all in the name of media said you are bad. Take, for instance, when Zuma wanted to implement a nuclear, I remember even the likes of Penuel, I have that post. They wrote and says, do Zuma think we're dumb? He wants to eat the man. Today, in the very same Penuel show, I've heard people saying, actually, to end load shedding, you need that nuclear. More, as if that was not enough, in Europe, they are busy building nuclear power station to finish load shedding. So, was Zuma dumb when he said he needed to build a nuclear to avoid load shedding? And he had a company from Russia that was to do that. And we were told, this corrupt man, he wants to eat money. No. Be careful of this man. Who told that? Who told us that? The media. Why? Because Zuma has appointed people that they did not like. And because of that and that alone, their greediness, they were like, nah, we're going to make you look bad even when you are good, for us to make money, for us to get you sacked, for us to get you removed, so we can have a person that we will favor and support, a person that will listen to us when we are asking things, and so that we can make enough money. And that is exactly where we are today. We are where we are because we deserve to be here, because we chase the right people and follow the wrong people because of what? Media. I don't want to ask much. Do you have any information that you think is worth sharing? Don't go to my WhatsApp and write, hi, hoot, wheat. I've got a lot of people that are writing messages on my WhatsApp. But what you need to do, just go to my WhatsApp, say, hi, here's the link. Have a look at this link. This is the link to this article. Share articles. I want to compare information. I'm willing to make a U-turn on everything that I've said here, provided you show me facts that can be read and be tested and be proven like otherwise. Then I'm willing to make a U-turn to every single thing that I said. Now, let's the journey begin. Let's prove the truth. Who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth? Till the next video, good people, please take care.